Welcome back to Take Action News, everybody. David Shuster here on our first show of 2013, and what an amazing week this one was. President Obama, of course, he concluded the fiscal deal with Republicans and Democrats in Congress, agreed to an extension of the Bush tax cuts for 98% of Americans. The tax rates are going up on people making more than $400,000 a year. One of the issues, though, that was left unresolved, and that is the debt ceiling. Congress has to essentially authorize the government to continue to essentially borrow more money above certain levels. A year and a half ago, there was a nasty fight between President Obama and the Republicans in Congress over the debt ceiling. It caused a downgrade in the credit worthiness of the United States by one ratings agency. The president, after the negotiations this week, in which essentially the debt ceiling was not handled, it was essentially punted, the president said, try to make it very clear, that he is not going to negotiate with Congress on raising the debt ceiling. Listen.
While I will negotiate over many things, I will not have another debate with this Congress over whether or not they should pay the bills that they've already racked up through the laws that they passed. Let me repeat. We can't not pay bills that we've already incurred.
So is the president standing firm, or will he start to negotiate again? Let's bring in Matthew Stoller. He's a fellow at the Roosevelt Institute. He's also a contributing editor to the financial site Naked Capitalism. He also contributes to Politico, Alternet, Salon, Reuters, The Nation. You can follow him at Matthew Stoller. Matt, welcome to the program. Should we believe President Obama or not?
Believe him about what?
Believe him that he's not going to negotiate over the debt ceiling, that's firm.
No.
Okay. All right, how come?
Well, he tends to fold. So he'll often say, I will not negotiate over blank, and then the Republicans say, yes, you will, and then he does.
All right, and what's the, well, let me play devil's advocate then. What's the danger? Suppose President Obama says, all right, despite my pledge not to negotiate over the debt ceiling, fine, I'm willing to agree to some cuts in some entitlement programs and government spending if that's what it'll take to get Congress to authorize raising the debt ceiling. What's wrong with that?
Well, I mean, if you want to cut social welfare programs, then nothing's wrong with it. If you don't, then cutting social welfare programs is bad and unnecessary.
Do you believe that President Obama is willing to cut social welfare programs?
Well, I think the record's pretty clear that that's what he wants to do, that that's what he sees his legacy as. What he calls strengthening Social Security and cutting Medicare, things like that. I'm not saying there aren't ways to reduce waste in Medicare. We spend way too much on our health systems and don't get very much for it. But I suspect that he isn't. He's not going to be going for just the waste. But I don't know.
There are some of us who are concerned that, regardless of whether you support the president's policies or not, I think it's sometimes confusing to a lot of people when the president is willing to sort of negotiate or his principles seem, shall I say, somewhat flexible. And whether I agree or not with President Obama, shouldn't we have a president who stands firm by his principles, and when he says one thing, he means it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that would be nice to have a politician. Politicians should say what they mean and mean what they say. And there's always going to be some lying. Everybody lies. You look great in that kind of thing. But broadly, it would be nice to have somebody who kind of told a broader truth about our society. And I think generally there's this misperception that the Obama administration is sort of on the side of the middle class, and that the Republicans are on the side of the wealthy. And if you look at the data, what you see is that inequality is rising fairly dramatically. It rose fairly dramatically under Clinton, then even more dramatically under Bush, and now even more dramatically under Obama. And this is largely a result of the policy framework of each administration.
What would you have?
It'd be nice to have that debate about what to do about it.